Welcome to the Instagram live session from Mr. Mortgage. My name is Robin, financial specialist and mortgage advisor here at Mr. Mortgage. And I'm very excited to have this Q&A session with you. Feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A. And we'll just wait a bit until everybody has time to join. We start at 12. In the meantime, let me explain something about mortgages as well. And specifically what Mr. Mortgage does, of course. Now, as you might know, it's the peak house buying season right now. What it means is that a lot of people are selling their house now. For the simple reason that there are leaves on the trees and the flowers start blooming. So the pictures of the house basically just look nicer right now. Now, also people want to buy a house now, because if you buy a house now, usually you move in a couple months later, and that's around the summer holiday season, maybe a bit earlier also. So we'll also always see a bit of a peak when it comes to buying and selling properties right now. I see there's already some people joining. Very much welcome to everybody joining here right now. And in a bit, we'll also start explaining everything about mortgages and answering your questions, of course. Now, whenever you have questions, I mentioned before as well, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll address them piece by piece. And also, when there's questions specifically to your particular situation, feel free to schedule. Hi, Eglin, welcome. And hi, Vijay, welcome as well. Thank you for joining this session right now. Very excited to answer any questions you might have. Now, let me explain something about mortgages as well, and what Mr. Mortgage does. A very common question, let's start there, what we get is, what does a mortgage advisor do? It sounds obvious, obviously, but there's a good point to state here. Now, what a mortgage advisor does really is a bit different from what a bank does, because you can go to your bank, sure, you can check what the mortgage advisor, what your mortgage capacity is, but then you get only the options from that particular bank, so their interest rates and also their conditions and their timeline. So that's very important to know. So when we arrange your mortgage and we check your mortgage capacity, we look at the whole range of lenders that we have, and we work with over 30 different banks. What that means is you have a significantly broader range, so then you have a better interest rate, better conditions, better timelines, all of that. We can give you access to all of that and make sure that you get a tailor-fit mortgage that fits your personal needs, not only now but also in the future, right? So that might mean that you expect a bonus in the foreseeable future, so you want to be able to repay more on your mortgage, maybe, if it makes sense to you, or you expect a gift, or you expect to move in together with somebody else, or any other difference that can make a change in your mortgage as well. So it's important to always be fully aware of what your options are for now and in the future, and to have your mortgage tailored to that specific means and ends as well. Now, that's what we do. Now, we don't only take care of your mortgage, we guide you through the whole house hunting process. So from the moment that you start considering, hey, should I buy a house? First, we'll do an assessment to see if it actually makes sense to you at that particular time, or maybe later, or whatever your situation is. And then we'll see, okay, what is your range, what's your mortgage capacity based on what you want, and then we'll guide you through the whole house hunting process. Now, every property is different. It's almost like you people, right? Every person is different, every property is different. That also means that every property might have a different bank that is the best fit for your mortgage. Now, this is what we check throughout the whole process that you consider buying a house. And when your offer got accepted, we'll take care of your mortgage and everything will be done as well. Now, Eglin had a very good question here. Is there a down payment required? A very common question. So in the Netherlands, no, not necessarily. I know it's very common abroad, but in the Netherlands, if you buy a property, let's say for 400,000 euros, so your purchase price of 400,000 euros, let's say the value is 400,000 euros as well. If your income is sufficient, you can secure a mortgage for 400,000 euros as well. So that's very good to keep in mind. No down payment is really required. That saves you quite a bit of savings. Now, you could decide to put in some savings, but and that could have a positive effect on your interest rate. But this is one of these examples that we'll first see, well, does it actually make sense to do this down payment? It's not required. It is optional, and we can always see if that makes the most sense to you. Now, again, if anybody else has questions as well, feel free to pop them in the chat here as a comment, and we'll address them accordingly. Now, if there's, again, any questions that might be more personalized to you, schedule a call with us. It's always an introduction call, so we'll just check who you are. We'll give you a short introduction about us as well, and see what your situation is and what your options are with a preliminary check there as well. See more and more people are joining. Everybody's joining. Very much welcome to this Instagram live session, and pop your question in the comments, and I'll address them right here, right now. Now, what we see. Very good. Can I get a mortgage as an expat? Very good question. So, yes, you can. It kind of depends per bank how to deal with this, but the majority of the banks start really understanding that expats have a very good income usually here in the Netherlands, have a stability of wanting to stay here as well. So yes, you can secure a mortgage as an expat as well. One of the things that you usually have as an expat is the 30% ruling. That means over 30% of your income, you don't have to pay income tax, which is a very nice thing, right? So that is something that might make it extra interesting for you to buy a house. Now, so your income, we can consider different employers have different types of income. So it's good to keep in mind what the specific aspects of your income are that we can include. The 30% ruling is actually something that could potentially increase your mortgage capacity a bit. We have to see if that makes sense for you, of course, and to see that. Now, very good other question that we see right now. They're starting to flood in, so very good. Everybody that has a question, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll address them right away. Question right here. I live abroad and I plan to relocate to the Netherlands. Where should I start? That's a very good point. So you can secure a mortgage even if you just move into the Netherlands, in particular situations even before you already live in the Netherlands. You have to consider a couple of things. First, very important, you need a BSN. In Dutch, a burgerservice-nummer. Please don't memorize that by heart. A BSN, everybody knows what that means. And what it means, what it is really, it's a Dutch social security number. So that is imperative, you need that. If you have a non-EU passport, then you do need a residency permit to live in the Netherlands as well. So BSN, residency permit is if it applies. And then, sure, the majority of the banks like that you already are registered in the Netherlands. So maybe a short stay rental makes sense to start with living in the Netherlands. But we also see it happening quite a lot that people want to move in here right away and buy a house right away, not to have to move around too much. And there's also possibilities there. Do check in with us what your personal situation is to see what the options are. Definitely optional to already buy a property before you actually live in the Netherlands. BSN we need, Dutch social security number, residency permit if it applies to you, and a source of income in the Netherlands, like an employment contract. Now, another question right here. How do I know how much I can borrow for a mortgage? That's a very good question. There's online calculators. I'm not a fan of those necessarily. Sure, they work, they give you a very basic view of what your options are. Does it give you an accurate idea? Not necessarily, because it's very generic. But when we look at your finances, so basically to answer your question, check in with us, because we're happy to run the analysis of what your options are. When you check online, you see what your maximum mortgage capacity is. Is that what you need? Not necessarily. Be sure to first check, okay, what do I feel comfortable with spending per month? And then we can let you know what your range is of mortgage that you can get approved as well, based on your income, your preferences, but also the type of employment contract that you have, for instance. So that's when it comes to how much you can borrow for a mortgage.